What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. My name's Miles. I'm a 23-year-old full-time online arbitrage, and that's what we talk about here on my channel. Today's video we're going to talk about the process of making my first $100,000 in profit on Amazon, as well as several mistakes I made that kept me from getting there a lot quicker as we were going. So I'm excited to share this story and some actionable tips for you, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Let's hop into my screen and get right after it. Here inside my screen now, and let's take a look at this. Making my first 100K profit on Amazon, and what would have gotten me there much quicker, mistakes to avoid on your journey in doing similar and all that. So the first thing was, a lot of the inventory I was selling at this point was not replenishable. Now what I focus on a lot is replenishable items that I can sell for a while, and obviously those take a little bit longer to find and everything like that, but you're rewarded in that I can then sell them for a lot longer after that. So we can see here on my sales right now is getting started in March 2021 till about November 2021. That's the ballpark of my first 500K-ish of sales, 100K-ish in profit right there. We can see that there were a couple things. So I was pretty much just buying stuff off sales that was easier to find off websites. And because I was buying stuff off sales, they were sales that were finite opportunities, right? They weren't necessarily stuff I could go back on over time. What I do now is a lot of checking out with coupons, and coupons tend to be a little bit more evergreen. But those sales, right, 4th of July, Memorial Day, all that kind of stuff. So those were a little bit more finite. So there wasn't any lifetime value to the items I was buying. The items I was buying, couldn't only find that price once, and then I couldn't go after them and find them again as I was moving forward and all that. Number two, so I was actually only merch filling at this time. You guys can see, so I went on vacation in March, and then I went on vacation in late July, August right there. So my sales pretty much like went to zero in that point. So I was like 99.98% MF during that time. You guys can see back to school was really good for me. So I'm excited for back to school again this coming August and July, late July and everything. And then my sales kind of picked up and everything and there, but they were a lot higher. You guys can see the floor was really rising in terms of once I started figuring stuff out. And that was once I started sourcing replenishable type inventory. And once I started FBAing was in September, October, November. And that's when my sales really started to take off compared to the spring and the summer. We can see that in my charts right here. So I want to show you guys an example of what a potentially replenishable type product looks like right here. So just pulling up the SellerAmp and the Keepa. Make sure if you guys haven't already, you go get a free trial of our tool SellerAmp at selleramp.com right here. And we can see this product has nearly 1,000 ratings, so we know it's selling. BSR is 85K, nothing crazy. 200 sales a month right there. And we can hop into the SellerAmp, see some of this different data. We can see the competition right here. We can see the pricing. We can see that as of April 1st, this item was 125, and as of recently, it was like 128. And we can see the competition's very low on this as well. And then over a year time frame, we can see the Keepa is very stable. So this is an example of something that potentially would be replenishable based off the pricing stability. And the reason why the price would stay stable, the only reason why is because, or the only reason that would be the case is if people are not making the money they wanted to make on this product. And we know they're making the money that they want to make because the price isn't dropping. So we know they're selling it as quick as they want and at the price they want and everything. That's an example of what a potentially replenishable type item looks like. So then we can show how I'd go about sourcing items like this is looking at, okay, who's selling it, hop into data, buy box stats on Keepa right here, and seeing, okay, over the long-term frame. So a bunch of people are selling it, right? Some high review counts here. Drawing back to number two, which we'll talk about in a second, is you can see that not everyone has the FBA check mark right there. So there's some people that are merch filling over here, which shows if you're FBA, which is what really ended up taking off my sales, was going a lot FBA, was switching to more FBA right there. And then using SellerAmp, our tool right here, can just open up some of these right here and take a look at, get a vibe of what these other people are selling right here. So we can see on SellerAmp, we can hop in here and see the brands they're using, that's selling, the categories they're selling. This guy's heavy clothing, shoes, jewelry right here. Same right here with this guy, and this guy has a bunch of different brands right here and a ton of ASINs. So I definitely won't look through him. There's too many going on there right here. And if we take a look, right, so we can check that out right here, see the different stuff they're moving. Take a look at some of these products right here. Just open up this, for example, right here. So we can get a vibe of this, hop into the variations right here, get a vibe of which are moving quickest, filter top to bottom, and see it's in like the $75 range. We want to pay like $35 for this. And we just hop right here on Google with SellerAmp, take a look at the pricing. Maybe if there's a coupon on one of these sites, that would end up working out. But that's the process of sourcing I like to do. Kind of hopping back here. So we can see that there's clearly people who are getting the buy box merch filled. So we know that if we're FBA, that's going to be a big thing. But the replenishableness is the big part, is that, right? The goal is that if you're getting going with replenishable items, there's a combination of a lot of the things that contribute to making an item replenishable. Typically, that's a little bit harder to find. The good saying, and I think I tweeted this, like the harder to find an item, the longer you'll be able to sell, most likely, right? So you want to be using coupons, 10% email coupons, have a catch-all set up, all that, because then those items you find are going to be a lot a lot harder to find for your competition, right? Stuff that's just on Walmart for $20, selling for 45, no coupons involved, not a high rocketing, anything like that. So much easier to find. Everyone wants to be buying off Walmart compared to the stuff I'm buying where it's like it's selling for 50, but I have a 25% off coupon, so I'm really paying 37.5. High rewards credit cards rocketing, which I don't necessarily count into my margin, but that definitely contributes. It's like 5-10% in some cases. Stuff that's harder to find, then I can sell for longer, and that gives me a lot higher lifetime value to the sourcing I'm doing right here. Coming on to the second point, on top of replenishability, I was pretty much all merch filled at this point, which was tough for me to scale. I like merch filled for a lot of you guys who are beginners just because you can build the muscle of sourcing so much quicker. You can order something today, it gets here in 4 to 6 days, then you get it listed immediately. You don't have to worry about any check-in times, any FC transfer, and everything. And naturally, stuff sells a little bit slower. Merch filled, once it's listed, you can get it listed quicker, much quicker with merch filled on that right here. So merch filling was huge for me, but eventually once I started doing FBA, that's when my sales really skyrocketed. I think my record sales day was like 27K in December. So I might even have a video on that, but that was the big thing, was getting going with the FBA so that I didn't have to do the individual fulfillment. But if you're new, I like the idea of mixing in some merch fill at the start, and I still do merch fill here and there, but it's like less than 10% of my sales, right? And then hopping in, so third, so I originally started Amazon back in 2019. I didn't really figure it out till early 2021, right? February, March 2021, I started making some money, right? 5, 8, 10K profit a month, moving it up in like 15, 20, where we're at right now. Some cases a little bit higher. Hopefully December this year, November, December should be 50 to 100K profit each, closer to 100K in December if I do things right. And I'm going to document the whole thing on the channel here. The network part of things was huge. I met some of my friends who I have the podcast with now. We have the podcast, Buy Box Bandits. Definitely take a look if you haven't on that stuff. We got 65 episodes. We just posted one today. And that's good stuff. Basically, I met Danny, Garrett, Jake. We just started grinding. We were Zooming, FaceTiming every day. I call it like an Amazon social circle, basically. The nice thing is there's tons of people who want to learn, who do this stuff online. It's just the hard part is that there's not really anyone in person, most likely, that knows about this stuff. So naturally, people are like, oh, I don't know if that works or anything. But if you're watching this video, you're watching my channel, you probably have some others. You can see that people are doing this. People are really succeeding with it, with lots of work, right? Lived and breathed it literally every single day. We met in late February, early March, and then we literally grinded every single day. And then August was my first 100K in sales, 15K profit month, life-changing money to me at the time. So super excited about that. Pretty much been around that since as I was going and everything. So the network is huge, and so many people sleep on the network part of things. And that comes from building leverage. What does leverage look like? Oftentimes it's content, right? I'm making this video right now with you guys. You guys are watching it. So it's like a digital resume, basically. Essentially, now I've been lucky to be able to talk to so many of you guys in the DMs, answer questions, some of you guys in the comments, answer questions and all that. So I appreciate it, right? And that creates relationships, and great things come from relationships when you combine knowledge. Like, probably gotten on like 50 Zoom calls in the last year with like random people I've met in the make money online Amazon space. And all that has really helped me compound my knowledge and everything. It's been so helpful. So do your best to build like an Amazon social circle if you can, as you're growing right here. So big things, replenishability, not FBAing soon enough, although the merch filled part of things was huge because it let me move so much quicker when I was new and starting and everything like that. And third, the network. So make sure you check out the podcast if you haven't already. Get after it. I only source using Keepa and SellerAmp. Those are the only things I use. No tactical arbitrage, no leads list, no virtual assistants. I'll probably get a virtual assistant, and I'll make a video about how you can as well. But I really just keep it simple, man. So simple scales, fancy fails. I love that saying. It's a pretty famous saying on all that, but it's so true, right? The combination of growing an Amazon arbitrage businesses, being good at finding stuff, which takes a while, which took me, I'd say 6 months of doing it every single day to get good at it, having the capital to source, which oftentimes for me at the start came from a lot of credit and everything, compounding my money and building confidence on that. So thank you guys for watching. I do want to say, if you want my direct help growing your Amazon arbitrage business, I'd highly recommend, once again, if you're very serious about doing this, you really want to grind on it, you really want to cut the learning curve, you can check out the link in the description. You can come to my site here and apply for my coaching program. So that's linked in the description on that. But either way, really appreciate you guys watching. Be back at it on Friday for another video. I think this is pretty helpful stuff. Keep SellerAmp, replenishable products, coupons, all that. Love talking about some Amazon online arbitrage. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.